One, you want easy money. This is not easy money. This is potentially very big money. But what we're doing is extremely difficult. The reason it's so difficult is because we're actually doing two things at once. On one hand, we're saying we will have a successful consumer app that's going to be a better choice for people who want to give feedback to businesses. That is hard enough. But we're also saying, at the same time, we're going to have a successful enterprise software company for businesses. We're doing both of those at the same time. Yes, our plan makes perfect sense. Yes, there's a symbiotic relationship between both sides. Users will help us attract businesses. Businesses will help us attract users. But this is just not easy. Two, you want to follow VCs. I pitched some VCs. They all said no. I also pitched some angels. 58 of them said yes. Why such a big difference? Because these two types of investors usually have very different needs in terms of the progress that they want to see. Angels need to see a great team, a great idea, and whenever possible, the beginnings of a great product. They also need to understand why the business model makes sense. We have all of these things, so we have seen great success with angels. VCs need to see all of these things, but they also need to see more. They need some sort of proof that it's already working. This didn't used to be the case, but now that it has gotten cheaper and cheaper to launch startups, expectations for traction have been getting higher and higher. There's no conceivable way that MoneyVoice could deliver this sort of proof that it's already working before we even have the capital we need to launch our full product. So that's why we're too early for VCs, and that's why crowdfunding from angel investors makes so much sense for MoneyVoice. If you're an angel investor, you're probably totally comfortable investing today. However, there are some angels who only want to follow VCs. If that's you, I'm sorry, but you will have no such opportunity. But the good news is that we've set the minimum threshold for this fundraise at $1 million. That means that if the total amount we raise is less than $1 million, we're not going to accept a dime of it because it's not enough to do what we need to do. That also means that if we do accept your money, you're guaranteed that we're going to have at least $1 million in the bank, which is enough to execute our plans. 3, you're scared. We recently lost momentum. We didn't have enough money in the bank to pay our growing team, so we had to lay people off. Without funding, we can't achieve growth or revenue, so we don't have growth or revenue. Some people see these things and they get scared. Okay, I will tell you why I'm not scared. First, I know what I'm talking about. I have studied this ins and outs for over a decade. I'm probably the #1 expert in the world on the topic of voting with your money. I know this can work. Second, I've started several companies before. One of them went on to raise millions of dollars from VCs and got acquired. One of them failed. When I was out raising money for the company that failed, I talked to a lot of smart VCs, and the feedback was, we don't believe in this business model. We think there's a fundamental flaw here, and it's not going to work. Ultimately, I agreed with them and shut down the company. With MoneyVoice, the feedback from VCs is, oh, this would absolutely work. This is a great business model. This all makes sense if you get people to use the app. And then, of course, they say, we'll come back later when you've made more progress, right? We're early. But there's no red flags. There's nothing that should be happening for us that's not happening. We're just early, and we're doing something difficult. So if you're scared, don't be scared. And if you're still scared, don't be an angel investor.